What is up, guys? Spring's close. That means baseball's right around the corner and the regular season starting at the end of March. And we're here to tell you a little bit about the content RunPureSports.com is going to be offering to our premium members. DC, we got a lot going on.
Absolutely. Baseball coming up. We're going to have everything you need here at Run Pure Sports. As you mentioned, webcasts, articles, core plays, statistical analysis, projections, all of it up on RunPureSports.com.
Come for the amazing plays. Listen to JT Hayes botch every single name. It's so much fun. Our team's been on a major heater in the NBA. We're going to carry on this momentum to the MLB season. Get on board right now. Sign up for a premium membership to RunPureSports.com. It's only $80 a month. $80 a month. Monthly access to our premium MLB content. All the other sports, golf, MMA. It's not just baseball during the summer, people. We got a lot going on. NBA still going on once baseball starts. For an extra $20 a month, you get the bet side. I'm telling you, add it. Joey Workby, we're just killing it on the baseball side. He's perfect during the World Series. What are you waiting for? Sign up today. Start running pure.
Everybody, welcome to the Run Pure Sports NBA Hardwood Show. I'm your host, Mangone. I'm back with TitleTown. I got Big T. We'll head on over to you first, TitleTown. How's it going over there? How's the week going?
Yeah, it's a nice Monday. Sweating a little NASCAR out that just locked. I won't be sweating for long. Looks like a couple of my guys got in a crash, so that's unfortunate. But hey, a little NASCAR on. Then we got a nice 11-game slate tonight. We'll break down, and then some college basketball tonight. Nothing better than little March Madness Elite Eight action. So I'm excited to break it all down and sweat some other sports too.
Yeah, tons of hoops going on right now. We have all the DFS sports for one price. Use the code HEATER25 to get 25% off with baseball right around the corner. We'll have that promo running for 3 more days. So now is time better than ever to sign up. And like Title said, we got NASCAR going tonight. We got college basketball. We have the NBA show now. Baseball in 3 days. No better time to be playing DFS right now than now, right, Tony?
Yeah, we got another crash too, right as you guys are talking about it. The dirt is crazy out there. We got a lot of things happen. But yeah, college basketball on a Monday night. This is the good part about the schedule. We're used to, in the past, games Thursday, Friday, and then the Elite Eight games Saturday, Sunday. It's a nice little change up to have some action on Monday and Tuesday. Especially, I kind of like this better. We got to get used to it because it's been the other way our whole life, but I like it. I like the Monday, Tuesday. 2-game sweat, too. You got one game and then the next game back-to-back. Fun little Monday night to go with an 11-game NBA slate, so I'm excited.
Yep, I'm excited for it as well. Cannot wait. I do want to mention in the chat, Big T, some questions are being asked. What was the Wendy's order today on Hector's dime, right? You won the MMA bet. Tell the people a little bit about this.
It feels good when every week you just go and Hector pays for your lunch. You got the money in the bank, but Hector's money makes the food taste that much better. Wendy's, yeah, what did I get? I got the kids some nuggets. The whole family ate on Hector's dime today. At Wendy's, you can get the whole Somoli for under $20. So thanks, Hector. The whole family ate on you.
Yeah, I was DMing with Hector this morning. He said, you know what sucks about today? I got to pay for Big T's food, but you know what's even worse? He's getting Wendy's of all items. Yeah. So he was not happy about that.
I was so confident on that fight on Saturday. It was my second lock of the whatever you want to call it, the year, the MMA, my career. I was so confident I just gave him plus 200 because I knew our dude was just going to freaking roll that dude up. Gave him the plus 200. He was only like a 130 favorite. I said, you can have 2-1 odds, Hector, because I'm still going to roll it up on you and eat Wendy's.
There you go. So all the Wendy's for Big T. While we're sitting here talking about it, we're talking about the MMA. I do want to talk about Mr. Big Shot 1369. People complain and say the members don't win, but Mr. Big Shot 1369, he took down an MMA Octagon prize pool, took home 6.5K, and then he also took down 11.5K in NBA over like the past weekend. So TitleTown, I'm sure you know a little bit about it because you're in the MMA streets. So talk about his little win, 'cause I'm sure you checked it out.
Yeah, I mean, he had crushed last week. I think he won the NBA. It was either Wednesday or Thursday or something like that. I think it was tied for first in the big $3, which is very hard to do. And then he ran it over. It looked like he maxed out the 888 on MMA, and he shipped that too. He split with 2 or 3 people. Nice little $6,200 win. We had our Francis win. It was a pretty good MMA week. So he absolutely crushed it. 20,000 in a week. He said on Twitter he was a painter too. Comes home to watch the shows, look at the core plays and playbook quick, just like any other person. Look at the content. Doesn't need to take you 3 hours. We condense it, make it very easy, and he had a very nice week. So congrats to him.
Warwick Wilson in the chat. He said he wanted some mojo. Tweeted Big T won at one night. He hit for 111K. Is that right, Warwick Wilson? I freaking love it. 111. The 6-figure club that's a fun club to get into, Warwick. Congrats.
Yeah, congrats on that. I didn't see that screenshot. So
yeah, where's the screenshot, Warwick? We want to tweet it out and put it on the show for you.
Yeah, so send that out. Send it to Run for Your Sports Big T. We'll definitely check it
Awesome,
out.
though.
And Tony, I actually want to talk to you because we have college basketball here. I want you to talk about C-Claw's like big like college basketball mania win, because I don't think people realize like when you win the mania, like that's a coveted like little pool, right? It's like winning a live final basically. And talk about how that all went down in college basketball, because he did some swapping and it was really absolutely nuts.
Yeah, I mean, the people that don't play niche sports don't realize that in a way it's harder than the big sports because the info's not out there. You're only going against regulars. The big sports, you got a ton of dead money in there. These niche sports, they're tough. I mean, MMA, all of them, college basketball, college football. We got some of the best people too, with Steve, college basketball, Bruce, college football. Obviously, we all chime in too, but man, it's tough. And I like it too because his name's Chris, but C-Clow, he was in the original chat I was in like 5 years ago with Kay Fallick and Bruce and a lot of our people now. Like 5 years ago, we were in a World Cup chat, and it just shows you how the grinders, they just keep grinding. 50K yesterday in the college basketball and the title, more importantly. Like, it was a bracket, those of you that didn't see it, but just a bracket, 64 head-to-head matches. You had to get a seat just to get in, just like a live final. All the best college basketball people were in there, and he went through them all. And last night, the best play of the slate obviously was Mobley from USC. Clearly the best play, one of the best, I mean, probably the best fantasy player in the country easily. And he knew he was going to lose, and he had Mobley in his lineup, but the dude he was playing, he knew had Mobley too because he was the best play. So like Mangone's talked about a ton, if you know you can't win, what do you got to do, Mangone? You jump ship to anyone.
You jump ship to
anyone. It doesn't matter because you're not going to win if you play Mobley. You're drawing dead.
Yeah.
So what does he do? He pivots down to the Oregon guy who wasn't as good of a play, even at all. And this dude gets so many buckets when the game was over. He ends up with 50 fantasy points, outscores Mobley by like 20. The crazy part was he had to outscore, I seen the text message, he had to outscore Mobley and one other dude. It was a scrub dude, but 2 dudes, and he did it for the ship by like 2 points. Legendary late swap, and huge congrats. I mean, that's a huge accomplishment to win that tournament.
Yeah, and listen, like when you do make that swap, you can't be mad that you made the swap, right? Because like you were already drawing dead. Like you're doing it to try and give you like those, like if you do it 10 times, maybe 1 or 2 of them, you kind of get it home. Like that's
you only need 1 out of 100 for it to make sense. Like it only has to happen once.
Yeah.
If you don't swap, you know what's going to happen for sure? You're going to lose, like no matter what. So
yeah, and it's good to figure it out earlier, right? And it adds up over time. We got JD in the chat said, agreed on the mojo, still riding high after taking down 215K in the Honda last weekend. On a bit of a bender last week. Tony, talk about that a little bit too, like before we dive in. Like, so like you win a lot of money, right? Like you also don't want to donate it back, right? You want to be smart with your money. We got a lot of members doing really well. Talk about like how you kind of deal with those swings a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I learned the hard way tons of times. You hit big hits. I mean, even before DFS, I had some huge hits sports betting wise. Always dumped it back, dump it back, dump it back. Get rich, dump it back, get rich. You hear poker players all the time too. win $1 million, give it back, win a bracelet, win a ton, give it back. I mean, it's just what gamblers do. Finally, I think I've learned my lesson a little bit and stay in your lane. You win, keep grinding. Don't do anything different. I'm going to do that this time. So I'm going to set the lesson by myself during this heater. But you can still take shots here and there with a big hit. Take a shot here and there. You just can't do it every day. You can't just go in playing the Thunderdome and playing and just stay in your lane. That's the best advice I can give. Don't be scared to take a shot here and there, though. You can definitely take a shot here and there.
Yeah, no, I agree on that. And it's like some people were saying after you won your million, you played only 1.5K one of the days.
I'm stuck with it too. I mean, the only time I really go up is MMA. I go a little higher, and NASCAR, just because there's not really a risk of returning zero. It's a little safer of a sweat, and I just like it. I enjoy MMA and I enjoy NASCAR, where they're a little bit nichey, but you can put 150 in those, and more than likely you're not going to get zero back. It's a little bit safer of a sweat.
Yeah, for sure. Just wanted to kind of talk about some of that. And you guys could, we have 501 of you watching. Hit that like, hit that subscribe on the video. We're getting outraged and we don't like that. So hopefully we can get that moving along as we get ready to dive in and talk about the games. TitleTown, I'm going to head on over to you. It's a really big slate, man. I like the slate a lot. There's so many different routes to go. We have 11 games to talk about. Give me your slate overview here.
Yeah, it's a crazy slate. It seems like up top, a lot of the ownership's going to be gravitated to Harden, especially on DraftKings as a spend up. There isn't too many spend ups. There's Giannis on the slate, but he gets a pretty tough matchup with the Clippers. There's not too many of the studs. So I think he's going to be very popular. We have one game that locks at 7 Eastern of the 11. But the thing is, that's the second highest total on the slate at 233 with the Pacers and Washington. So I don't feel comfortable avoiding it the whole game completely. I think I need a piece or two there. But it's going to be important to manage all the news. We have a good amount of people questionable. Some people already listed out. I know Steph's questionable, Christian Wood's questionable, Julius Randle's questionable, Lowry's questionable. So we have a lot of news, important news we're waiting on. But the first game, one locks by itself, but it's a good one to lock. So it's going to be very interesting. Excited to hear your thoughts as well.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about it. And Tony, how do you saw in the chat? Warwick said, I bet a whole $30 last night after the 6-figure hammer. He can move a little bit from 30, right? I mean,
it's all in perspective. But if that was his lane and that's what he's comfortable with, stay in that $30 lane. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, you can definitely bump it up a little, but if that's what he's comfortable with and that's what he's winning with, I don't have a problem.
Yeah, it's just, I thought that was funny because that is the total opposite of what most people do. And that's not a bad thing, right? It's definitely a good thing.
So many people do that, though. They'll win 200K. What do they do? The next night they're playing the 1500s. And even people in our chat are always like, man, I wish I played the bigger, when they have a good score one night. Like, oh, I wish I played the bigger contest. I promise you, the bigger contests are not easier. It might seem like that the night where you hit the nuts, but it's not easy to hit the nuts every night. And the people in the higher stakes are in the higher stakes for a reason.
Oh,
and then when you're in the higher stakes and you have a very bad lineup, you wish you weren't in those stakes.
You wish you were down in the $30 games again.
So yeah, you'll never go broke playing $30 after winning six figures. You can go broke playing a lot more with that. So it's never bad to be more conservative than too risky.
It snowballs on you too. Like, say you did win the 100K, the first night you go big and you play whatever 3K or something, which doesn't sound like much, but if you lose it all, you're like, man, how'd I lose 3? Then what do you do the next night? 3K,
chase.
10 or 4K. And then it just starts to snowball on you and you start feeling that pressure like, man, what am I doing?
Oh, yeah, it happens a ton. Warwick said he was too busy hitting the workbench, which we approve of over here at Run Pure Sports for sure. So
play $30 in the workbench. That's definitely approved.
Yeah, definitely. Sounds like you had a good night. We got Big Shy said he won 11.5K on $79. Appreciate the core plays, which again, we have those at Run Pure Sports. Use that code HEATER25. 25% off your first payment with MLB around the corner. That promo will be ending in 3 days. So go sign up now, get in the Discord chat for all the winners. All right, that's enough of that. Let's talk about the games, right? There are so many awesome games on this slate that I want to discuss and I want to break down with you guys. We got the overview from TitleTown. Let's head on over to the first game. We got Pacers, we have Wizards, and Big T, I'm going to go over to you. No one's playing Russell Westbrook tonight right now. If Bradley Beal is out, then he's going to be played by a lot of people. If he's in, people are not going to play him. And I still think if Beal is in, he's a phenomenal play. If you look, the Pacers are playing at a faster pace. I expect this to be a really up and down transition kind of game. And that's where Russell Westbrook thrives. So I love Russell Westbrook in this spot. if I was building 150 lineups, he would be one of my guys I would be making sure to get overweight on. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, TitleTown owned me on the court, but I got to own him on the Westbrook versus Beal because, Westbrook has been – he's been crushing. And Beal hurt my feelings the other night. One of the weekend days, it might have been MMA night because I wasn't fully dialed into NBA with the Milwaukee. What was that, Saturday, man, going to Milwaukee?
I mean, he's done awful the last 4, so any of those.
Yeah, I had just the total nuts. And, of course, I had friggin' Beal in there and he gets hurt. And, man.
By the way, you made fun of me the other day.
Well, I played Westbrook, too. I had them both.
Okay,
I didn't play him over Westbrook. I would have made fun of myself if I fell into that. And I had Beal and no Westbrook, but it still hurt just as much because he was at like 30 in the third quarter and got hurt. I mean, he definitely would have got the value. More than likely the game stayed close. But yeah, tonight, I mean, if Beal is out, Westbrook is like Harden, where he just crushes. He gives you the massive floor, the massive ceiling. I think Beal probably sits too, honestly. I mean, maybe he plays, but he left early the other night. He seems to be super questionable. Obviously, it's not going to matter. We don't need to analyze it because we're going to know before lock anyways. But I'm planning on him being out, and then if he's in, I'm just going to adjust backwards because Westbrook's going to be a good play either way. Rui kind of fits that mold too of athletic bigs against Indiana, where he's looked a little better lately too. Just pulling up his numbers. I mean, 22 and 21, 2 of the last 3. So maybe he hasn't looked as good. Maybe it just feels like he's looked better than he has. But
he went 22, 39, 21, 34. So seems like every other he has a game.
He's definitely in a good spot though. And then the Indiana side, they're almost back at full strength a little bit, where they just have a lot of pieces. I mean, some of these guys look like they should be decent plays, but man, they got a lot of guys. I mean, just adding LeVert back in there it just clogs it a little bit. So I'm not going to play any Indiana guys, but Westbrook definitely one of the best plays.
Yeah, and I think Westbrook is going to just have the whole backcourt to himself because I think Beal sits because they play the front end of back-to-back, right? So it does make sense for Beal to maybe sit one of the games, and I think this could be the game that he does sit. TitleTown, I'll go over to you. What are you doing with these Wizards and Pacers?
Yeah, so on the Washington side, it depends on Beal a lot. If Beal is in, 8.8K on FanDuel. The shooting guard position isn't very loaded today. There's a couple options that I'm fine with, but 8.8 Beal's definitely in cash consideration for me. Westbrook at 11.
Title, is he in consideration over Westbrook? That's what the people really want to know. Let's get that.
That's why I said on FanDuel, because they're different positions. I would play Beal at shooting guard on FanDuel because point guard's a lot more loaded. Like Brogdon 6.5K on FanDuel at point guard. This is the second highest team total. Westbrook is prone for a lot of turnovers. Brogdon makes a lot of sense today at that price point. I can't pay 11K for Westbrook in cash games on FanDuel. But tournaments, it's still too much for me. 8.8K at a shooting guard position. I would rather play him than Westbrook. On DraftKings, I like Westbrook a lot in tournaments at 11,000 because I expect him to be very low owned. I think Harden's going to be clearly the most popular stud on the slate. And even if Beal is in, I mean, I got to take my L for sure on this one. Westbrook has been very, very good in DFS, where Beal's been more of a second option. He's just relying on his scoring, so he's not getting there. I like him in tournaments at 11K. I like the Indiana side more on FanDuel, though, where the prices are cheaper. Justin Holiday's 3.8K at small forward. It's a really big slate, but right now we don't have the most value. So 3.8K. Doug McDermott could be out too, which would give him a little bigger boost. I'm fine with that. Miles Turner's 5.7K. He's going to be really cheap with high stock upside in this matchup. Brogdon 6.5K. So bonus 8.8K. I like all these guys in this matchup with Washington. The only other guy on Washington I'll mention is Rui Hachimura. I like his price more on FanDuel at 5.5K than 8 or 5.9K, but he's been playing a lot better. When he gets going, he definitely has a ceiling, which we've seen. His floor is a little lower, so more for tournaments, but I like his upside in this matchup.
All right, Tony, how about you? What about like Hachimura, right? He's a guy I think is in play if Beal is out. Give me that breakdown on him because he's someone on FanDuel I think at the small forward position you can get into.
Yeah, I mean, I like how he profiles in this spot. Like I said, I think the matchup looks good. Man,
athletic bigs, Tony, against Miles Turner, right? Athletic bigs, he kind of we get some matchups against them.
I hate playing that. He always freaking gets like 20 when I play him. I feel like, I don't know. We all have these guys that I just feel like I never get right, and he's one of them where I just feel like he never comes through. If Beal is out, I'll have a hard time not playing him at 5,500 though. If Beal's out, if Beal's in, those two guys just have so much usage that I probably won't play him if Beal's in, but if he's out, I definitely will consider him.
All right, let's go on over to the next game. Don't have too much more to mention about that game. Let's talk about the Pelicans and let's talk about the Celtics. We got
the two favorites in this NASCAR race just crashed. Sorry.
I know. I saw. Are they out of the race for good or no?
I mean, it's a big crash. They got to be. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they're out. Bell and Larson both.
Wow.
This race is going to get nuts. Title's back in the sweat now, though.
I think I might have one or if not both of them too.
Well,
so.
back out of the sweat then.
I have Bell. I don't have Larson though. But I think isn't Larson 55? I think Bell is 30-ish%. Larson.
I mean, they were definitely the two favorites of the race. So
it could be like the golf, the match play this weekend, right? Where you just lose all the top guys and you don't even need any top guys. They're all just dead. We'll have to see how it all goes. But yeah, let's go and talk about the Celtics and Pelicans now, right? 230 total here, and we have no Jaylen Brown. And
Harvick's dead too.
Oh, geez,
this race is nuts.
Yeah,
who's about to win? Cole Custer?
Yeah, he might.
Truex has been the one so far, but man.
I got Alex Bowman, so maybe I'll get some lap sled there to kind of get me home. We'll have to see. He's in second. But
go back to it.
Yeah, I want to talk about this game because there's a lot to talk about here, right? Obviously, we have Lonzo Ball who hasn't been playing, so you can make cases for some of these Pelicans. But these Celtics are really popping off, right? You got Robert Williams who has that center position all to himself and has been smashing every single day. You got Kemba Walker with no Jaylen Brown. You have Marcus Smart with no Jaylen Brown. And those guys, I mean, they get the Pelicans matchup where they can absolutely crush. Same with Jason Tatum. When he's at 8.5K and you have no Jaylen Brown, I mean, it's just a great spot for the Celtics, but it's an 11-game slate with a lot of studs. Title, I'll go to you first. What are you doing with all these Celtics? I think they're good pieces to get exposure to, but I don't know if they're going to be better than some of the other studs we have later on.
Yeah, I still like this spot a lot for him. It's one of the first few games, so if Randall's ruled in, if some of the other guys that are questionable do play, this will be one of the best spots on the slate. I mean, Jaylen Brown's the second best player, has the ball in his hands a ton. Tatum for his price point on both sides, I have a lot of interest. He hasn't played great, but I mean, now he's definitely the alpha on the team. Should play high 30s minutes. Solid matchup, solid total against the Pelicans. So I like him on both sides. I like Robert Williams on both sides. He's just a freaking beast. I mean, give this guy 30 plus minutes every game and he's going to smash. Always prefer him on FanDuel more than DraftKings because of the stock upside, but I like that price regardless. Marcus Smart, I like on both sides. Better price point on FanDuel at 5.5K compared to 6.1K on DraftKings, but I think ownership will show that. I like Smart a lot in tournaments on DraftKings. He's coming back, playing his full minutes. Kemba Walker, I like on both sides too, but he would rank below the other three for me. As far as the Pelican side, they're just wanting us to play Brandon Ingram at this point. He's 7.7K on DraftKings. I think he's going to be low owned. I don't mind going the balance build. If you do fade Harden, you will land in this range a lot, going Ingram, Tatum, Kemba. You can game stack it that way, and I don't mind it, but Harden's going to be very popular. I don't expect Ingram to get ownership in this range. However, I do like that price. Zion, you can always play him, but I don't think I'll get there at 8.8K. I'd rather play Tatum. So it's mainly the Boston guys for me, and I do like them, though, without Brown, probably more than most.
All right, Tony, break down the Boston side and the Pelicans. How do you want to handle this game here?
So Ingram is definitely on my list of just never playing him again.
Agreed.
He's
I knew that.
This case for me to go there, I think. I've never seen a dude just like he looks like he's in a good spot, and it'll be an easy spot, and he'll get like 22 and stuff. It's like egregious, and he'll play minutes and get 22. It's egregious how bad he is at times. And like versus these wings like Tatum guarding him, I mean, there's no freaking way I'm playing him tonight. But yeah, Tatum and Kemba for sure for Boston are in play. Zion keeps crushing. He's still under 9K on DK. Is he under 9K FanDuel too? Exactly 9K on FanDuel. Definitely can go there. I want to see how Fournier gets integrated into Boston. I mean, he's not going to have like crazy usage, but he is going to take some shots. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he had similar usage tonight than like Jaylen Brown. Not quite, but just in a similar range. So maybe they don't get quite as big of a boost as we think, but they're still going to be good plays. New Orleans has struggled to guard perimeter guys. That's kind of what they do. So definitely in play for me. I'm cautious, though, because Boston's another team that I just haven't got right too much. So let's go with it.
Yeah, we got Darth Anger also asking about Evan Fournier, which we just don't know what he's going to do, right? Like, why even mess with a new situation on him? But he could cut
price
into
point
too.
Like,
yeah, he's expensive.
Yeah, I mean, even if he has a good game, which I do think he'll play good in Boston. I mean, like I always say in tournaments with these 6,500, 6K guys, like you need in the 40s. I don't know if he can get you in the 40s.
Yeah, it's
he could play really good and get like 35, and that's just it's not going to be it. I mean, it'll be fine. Like it's not bad, like we've talked about all year, but you're not like thrilled to play him and get 35.
Oh yeah, no, I'm with you. I definitely think it's a good idea.
He'll probably outscore Ingram though.
Yeah, he probably will. Ingram sucks, man. I'm good to stay away from him. And I want to be careful with this game. I don't want to overexpose myself to it too much. I think Robert Williams is probably my favorite. Then I lean maybe Tatum at 2 and then Smart at 3. Maybe it's Kemba at 3. I don't know. I go back and forth on that because I really just feel dumb. I feel like Tony, I'm going to be sitting there if I play Kemba Walker at 6'8". Like I feel like I'm going to be sitting there at the end of the night. Like there were so many studs I could have played and I played Kemba Walker at 6'8". Like what was I doing? Is that kind of how you feel?
I'd hardly ever play him. I mean, it is a pretty good spot. The problem with Kemba is he's a little bit like Ingram in a way where he either like just plays really well or he just sucks most of the time. I like him a decent amount tonight, though. I mean, they're in a good spot. New Orleans struggles to guard guys like Kemba. I don't know. I'm indifferent on him.
All right, I think that's enough of that game. Let's go and talk about the Heat and Knicks. And there's not much to talk about, so I'm going to say hit that like and hit that subscribe on the video. It helps us out, guys. Please do that. We will give away some gear when we get to the right number. Get that good mojo flowing from the chat. I'll go to you, Tony. Heat, Knicks. We need some news here. I just think we stay away from this game in general. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely looks like a stay away game. We're waiting on news, but I really don't know how much. It's an 11-game slate. Miami games are always tough, especially 11 gamers. And I don't know, like even if the news breaks a certain way, I don't really see a lot out there that I want in this game. So I think I'm just going to pass no matter what almost.
I think so too. Title. Here's my idea. There's a 204.5 total. It's 5-11. We'll get injury news soon, right? If we get news that falls the way that we need to talk about it, let's go back and talk about it. If not, you want to go talk about the Timberwolves and the Nets?
Yeah, it seems like a game you don't need much of. Even if Julius Randle is out, like we said, I mean, the game environment, I don't like picking on either team. So I'm with you guys.
I mean, I'm like trying to look at the prices and I don't know, like no one sticks out. I mean, I guess like Nerlens Noel turns into our boys back in our life. Nerlens, I mean, I don't know though. Like it's the same thing. I mean, if he gets you 25, he probably will, but I don't know. Yeah.
Taj Gibson will go to the starting lineup again. He had 32 last game, 29 the game before. I wouldn't want to play him at 4.2K in this matchup, but maybe that's what people will look at. I think there's
nuts at that min price, but now he's priced.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I'm good to move on. We'll talk about if we get some news, right? There's not too much to say right now. We need injury news on that. Let's talk about the Timberwolves and the Nets. And this is a 7:30 game, right? And Big T, are you going to be out in front with the sevens? Is it Big T 7-7-7 night with some Timberwolves and Nets? Because sure, the first game is fine, but this is definitely one of those games you could be out in front and you could load up on it and people might not be able to catch you. It's a 240 total. Harden's a great play. I think Karl-Anthony Towns could absolutely smash the Nets here in this spot. Your boy Kyrie is priced up. It's definitely a game that you can get some exposure to and load up on early. How are you handling it?
What the hell happened with Minnesota the other night versus Houston? I mean, they got just torched by Houston, and you can't ever get torched by Houston. Cat, I don't know what the deal is with freaking Cat. Like, he's just not a winner. And, I mean, it's embarrassing. You should never lose like that to a team like Houston, but this is a good spot. So, Brooklyn, I heard Aldridge, he's playing tonight, isn't he?
Is he really? He's playing tonight? I didn't see that.
That's what I thought I heard that, but I don't see him in the projections.
No, he's out tonight.
They said he's out?
Yeah, I see that he's out.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, I like Harden, but if he's going to be crazy popular, I don't think you have to go there. Like, I'm worried about a blowout more than people in this game. If these dudes are going to be popular, this might be when I pivot off a little bit. And, like, I wouldn't be shocked at all if they just torch this team. And people that play Harden are going to play, I would think, at least look at Cat to where I might just fade this game. And I don't know. Cat's in a good spot, but man, I mean, the spread's 12. Brooklyn's getting a lot of their guys going a little bit. I just think this team just got blown out by Houston. Why are they not going to get blown out again here?
Yeah, I definitely have some concerns of the blowout. And I talked about it a little bit. I talked about it on the podcast yesterday with DraftKings. Like, I kind of want guys that are super safe and secure. And Harden is one of those guys that feels that way. But I do think there's some really good safe and secure guys on this slate. And with it being an 11 gamer, I don't know. I might look elsewhere a little bit. But if Bradley Beal's out, I definitely think I would end up going with Beal over, or not Beal, Westbrook over Harden. No doubt in my mind, but I'm definitely going back and forth on what to do with them. TitleTown.
Westbrook's just a better play, even if Beal plays. I'll take the hot take panel and say that.
I thought about that too, just because like that game environment fits him well. And like, I mean, it's just hard to stop Westbrook right now. And I feel like I won't, like, if Westbrook lets me down, I'm okay to like just take my L for the day, right? Which it feels like he rarely does. But Harden has felt that way too, for sure. But Kyrie is now back. Title, I'll go over to you. How are you handling this game? Because it's a good one for DFS.
Yeah, I mean, the Westie over Harden makes a lot of sense in tournaments, especially on DraftKings. Harden, I think, is going to be one of the most popular plays on the slate at 10-9. Has the clear highest total on the slate. No one on Minnesota can guard him. So the thing is, though, there's ways that he doesn't absolutely smash if it's a blowout. In cash games, though, he's very, very safe. He's not as good of a play on FanDuel at 11.3K because there are some other shooting guards I do like. If Beal is in, he's a lot cheaper. There's Fred VanVleet. There's a couple other guys. So he's not a total lock for me on FanDuel. DraftKings, I'll have him in cash as of now, at least. I like Nicholas Claxton back in this matchup at 4.2K. He's way better with Harden on the court. LMA is not going to be in. Blake Griffin, he's playing a little more minutes, but Claxton in this matchup, Blake's not playing over 20. If Claxton can get 25 minutes, which I think he can, he should dominate in the pick and roll. I like Karl Anthony Towns running it back with him at 9.9K on DraftKings, 10K on FanDuel with only being able to play one center. I don't love as much since I do like Time Lord, Moses Brown and stuff, but Towns has been rebounding a lot better. He has a lot of upside, so I feel good with that price tag at low ownership at 9.9K. Other than that, not too much interest. If you need Jaden McDaniels at 3.7K on FanDuel at power forward, I'm fine there as a punt because value is not the best, but mainly Harden, Claxton, and then Towns in tournaments.
Yep, like the Towns call in tournaments. Title, I also want to ask you, Jeff Teague to the Bucks. Do we get to move them up? Are they like now the new favorite because those little veterans that get added who are former All-Stars matter a ton when it comes to moving the needle in the finals race? So what's your take on Jeff Teague to the Bucks?
You know that answer. That is not moving a thing.
Yeah, I know. People just love to say it on Twitter.
That's why I like Title, though. He's realistic. He knows his Bucks are in trouble.
Yeah, they are.
He has started turning. He has started turning, which I love to see. I was worried he was blind to it over the past couple of years, but he's
Giannis was a disaster again the other night. I played him, and man, he was. I know I've been on the other side of Giannis, but even for me, this is tough. Like, he is just in total shambles. Like,
the Celtics have his number. We need maybe Thanasis needs to take over Giannis's role. His step backs, whatever he was doing.
That is an absolute freak. Like,
yeah,
he's the same athlete Giannis is. He's just not. I mean, he's not skilled that much. But man, can you imagine being that athletic? Like, wow.
Yeah, he's got bounce. Energizer bunny. That's what I call him. He doesn't stop moving.
Yeah, no, we'll have to see. Maybe he'll be the guy. Maybe he'll be the Antetokounmpo.
What if he somehow he ends up being the difference maker?
Oh, that would be too good. But I do want to head on to the next game with the Dallas Mavericks and the Thunder. Before we do that, Tony, we need those likes and subscribes up, right? I mean, we're almost at 5K. Producer will be happy. And we got 756 people watching and only 250 likes. And that's a little hurtful. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. I mean, we were getting 500 likes again last week. 500 is our number. I mean, I know we're only at 750, but we'll be up in the 800s by the time. I mean, 500 needs to be the number to get some stuff. It seems high, but people just got to click that like button.
Nah, they can get it home. I have absolute faith. We have a lot of games to talk about, and they'll get it done for us. Let's talk about the Dallas Mavericks.
That's right, Sean V. Talk about me owning Steve. Our boy Steve from college was running his mouth about his Oregon team. Sean V saw it. I said USC, not only will they win, but you can bet the alt lines. You can bet whatever you want because they're going to win by double digits. It's men against boys, and that's what happened. Steve had to eat a little crow on that one. It felt good.
Yeah, you've been crushing it over at the bet side. If you haven't checked out the Run Pure Bet team, has absolutely been crushing it. I actually saw Tony. Someone was asking me about UCLA. Should we take him? He was like, I want to take him at 7.5. What's your thoughts on it? I said, Big T's been betting on the Pac-12 the whole time. And I saw your units. You're up 15 on March Madness.
Yeah, March Madness, 15 units. And those are just standard bets too. Like I don't have anything crazy in there. Like it's literally just spread bets, total bets, and then some money lines. There's no like any sort of parlays or anything in there. Like that is a legit 14 units. If you were betting $100 a game, you'd be up $1,400. So get in there. Let's finish strong. There's only a few games left, but let's get it.
Yep, only $20 to add on the bet side. Also, we just got news. Bradley Beal is out. Jerome Robinson is starting in his place. Tony, quick update. What's that do for you?
Yeah, I mean, it makes Westbrook a lock. I need to reevaluate the rest of the team. What's Robinson's price?
He's probably cheap. Title, do you have it up? I'm pulling it up now. Quick.
I'm pulling it up now. Priced on DK. So, yeah, definitely puts Jerome Robinson in play at 3K if he's starting.
Neto's 3.6 on DraftKings.
Yeah, I mean, Neto is a great play at 3.6. Basically, with Beal out, a lot of these cheap guys are going to be in play for me. I'm looking through them. So I like Gafford too. You want to talk about an athletic big against Indiana? Gafford is an athletic big. He's 3,200. We should have talked about him the first round. I just got a little excited seeing his name right there.
Yeah, someone in the chat saw he played 14 minutes and got 26 fantasy points. It's obviously 3.2K, and if he's someone they traded for
him, he could get extended run. Like there could be a game where he plays 25 minutes or something.
Yeah, no, I do think you're right. I do like
Washington.
my boy.
It might be Big T 777 again. It's opening up here.
Might be. I like Mr. Neto too. He's done me right. So and they don't have ball handlers at all. So I mean,
I like Washington a lot now.
The interesting part about Robinson too, so he's guard and forward eligible too, right? So he can fit in a lot of different spots throughout your lineup. So I assume he kind of gets a little bit chalkier, especially at 3K starting. I assume people are just going to load him up in their
Which
lineup.
he should. I mean, he's starting for 3K. He's been decent at times in the past too. Was he hurt or something? Why was he? So he hadn't played forever, and then he just played 18 minutes the other night. Why wasn't he playing?
I mean, he was playing in January. He played for a stretch, and then February. I mean, the one issue with them is it says coach's decision the other day against New York is why
he wasn't even hurt. He's just been out of the rotation.
They're just so weird, man. Washington, they just you never know what they're going to do with their guys. I mean, you saw it with Troy Brown, not to bring up bad memories, but it's just that's just what they do. So that's the one I would worry a little bit about Washington playing too many of these guys, right? Like I want to load up on them, but I think maybe putting 3 or 4 is too much. Maybe it's like Westbrook and just one of those guys. But I get it. They're super cheap price tags. In this
they're really cheap.
Yeah. So Gafford is not starting. It's going to be Westbrook, Robinson, Denny, Hachimura, and Len. So that is the starting lineup, just so you know.
Yeah,
but,
I'm good with Gafford not starting, though. Like, Gafford is another one of these dudes that wins you a tournament, though. Like, you're taking the risk on. Yeah, he has a extremely low floor. But the dude is 3,200, and he fits the profile. Athletic bigs against Indiana. The dude could get you 40 fantasy points, and I wouldn't be surprised. He's just a great play in tournaments. He's in workbench consideration.
All right,
I will say, the biggest bump for me, I mean, obviously Westy and them, but I love Rui Hachimura way more than I even did. I mean, he plays 35 minutes minimum a game, has reached the 40s. Now he's the second option on this team. He's not afraid to shoot the ball, and now it's Westy and Hachimura. Sign me up for that. FanDuel 5.5K. I really like him. 5.9K power forward center eligible. I still expect people to overlook him because people don't really fall in that range. I really like that play on DraftKings and FanDuel. Great matchup too.
Yeah,
Can you
and
imagine playing Robin Lopez over Gafford? Like, stop.
no, yeah, you definitely play Gafford over Robin Lopez. And Hachimura, they said he was going to be like the third option for them, right? So they do like him a ton. So that's obviously
He's
really
good.
for him.
Like he's someone when you watch the game, you know he's actually good at basketball, which is someone that I always rather take. I mean, he can shoot, he can drive, he's a good defender, he's a good player.
Oh, for sure. Let's go talk about the Dallas Mavericks and the Oklahoma City Thunder now. And this is a 221 total. We got the Mavericks as 11-point favorites, and Luka is now small forward eligible on DraftKings. Tony, obviously that's something that's nice, but I don't know if I want to go to him because I just think I like other stars on this slate. What about you? And talk about Moses Brown and this Thunder side with them being shorthanded.
Moses Brown, man. I mean, this dude, we talked about it before this too. So people can't say we're like on the bandwagon, but
Yeah, get that gif out, the Moses gif, right? I mean, he's been absolutely crushing.
We've been on for a month.
yeah, I mean, we were definitely on before other people, so we're allowed to kind of gloat right now. The dude had 19 and 19 at halftime the other night. I mean, he is just an absolute monster, and Dallas struggles with athletic dudes like this. He's in another smash spot. I don't know why he's not going to smash. Just looking at the rest of this roster, like he's definitely going to crush against Dallas. So I'm all over him. I agree with Luka. I mean, how could you possibly right now play Luka over Harden and Westbrook? You just can't. I mean, maybe if you needed a forward, I guess you could play him in there, but I don't know. Like I've said this all year with the studs. I'm just going to go with the ones that I feel safer and just the upside, the floor, everything. And that's just the Harden and Westbrook right now over Luka. Luka's banged up. OKC is not a great matchup for spots like this. I just don't see it. I'm not going to play Dallas. I'm tired of Dallas in general. So I'm good with just fading them in most spots. They play a ton of dudes. I don't really like any of their guys. I know we always talk about this on the show, but just don't see it. And yeah, OKC, I don't see much either except for Moses. I mean, play Moses, send out the GIF when he crushes. It's fun times.
Yeah, I'm with you on doing that. Tony, do I get my Lou Dort apology? Because you made fun of me for that. I made him my play of the day, and he got me 32.75 on a day where it was a dusty slate.
This is a hoop move. You're in hoop spot today hosting.
He was at 5K and I got 32.75. And that slate sucked. No,
like full victory lap.
Was this last Wednesday?
The difference between me and you and hoop. Like when I get to 32, I'm like, he got me missionary, and I
got 6X. And the slate sucked. If you got 6X yesterday, that slate sucked. Yes, 32. It mattered. Oh man, it matters. The slate, Tony.
Was this last Wednesday? I feel like I was on the show for this when you called him too.
Yeah.
You were holding this in all Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
No, I wasn't holding it in.
It was like a week ago, and he's just now bringing it up.
No, the worst part is I was excited to play him today when I saw the injuries, and I was like, he's questionable. I know he was hurt, and I was kind of excited for him. And I was like, oh, it's lining up perfectly. I can talk about it again on the show if he plays. But he ended up having the concussion, so now
you had a sticky note right on your computer waiting for this game to pop up. You already know it.
I don't got that printer and sticky notes like Big T. I got to start though. I think I seen Big T in action with that. I think that's some good stuff. But my boy Lou Dort, I don't get to see him. Someone's got to handle the ball, right? Title, like someone has to. Ty Jerome maybe has to. Kenrich Williams, Maldon, like someone has to play point guard. Maybe Moses Brown picks up some production, but who's the guard here?
In all seriousness, though, how much do you think this Poku weighs? Like, he is the skinniest dude I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Like, what is that? Filter
$1.80 wet.
cheeseburgers. Maybe he should have gone to Wendy's on Hector.
Yeah, he definitely should have went to Wendy's on Hector. He might be skinnier than Title, man. I mean, the dude is just.
He's definitely skinnier than Title. Are you kidding me? Title's not even that skinny.
170, 6 foot. Yeah, I mean. It's Poku. What's he? 6'10", 180 wet?
Yeah,
something.
He is very, very skinny, and yeah, he looks like something's wrong with him. Like he needs more weight.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get the exact size. What do they say online? Because they always lie about the size. They say 190. It's not 190. There's no way he's 190.
Oh God, Chandler Hutchinson's making his Wizards debut Monday. Oh, that's all we need is more crappy dudes in that rotation.
Yeah, that's what I talk about with like the Wizards. That's why I want to make sure I don't just fire 4 in my lineup and think it's just the day's over, right? Like
Well, that's why I like to say, I mean, like you said earlier, Westbrook and Rui, we know are going to get the minutes. Then you mix maybe one, at most two of the secondary, Jerome, Neto, stuff like that. But I wouldn't go with Gafford as a tournament one-off, but you don't want to play 3 or 4 of these second tier guys because you don't know the minutes with this stuff. You know, Rui and Wesley's going to get theirs.
Yeah, no doubt. Rui and Wesley will get there. So that's just with a little bit of the Washington stuff. Title, well, who are the guards? Like, I want to play some of them, but the prices are a little bit up. Like, I think Theo's price at 5'8". Like, you could play him. I just don't know exactly where to go. So what's the guy that's you're kind of locking in on?
I'm not going to play any of these guards. It's an 11 game slate. We have Wesley, we have Neto, we have all Jerome. I just can't make a case for them. This game outside, I mean, Moses Brown for sure on both sites. I like him. You're going to come down to the decision, probably Moses Brown or Time Lord today. And man, that's a really, really tough decision. FanDuel, I think I do lean Robert Williams because the stock upside is so great. DK though, I'm still debating that. It's a coin flip. I'll be curious to see if you two have a strong lean on that. But
I have a strong lean. I'm playing
Moses Brown.
Sure. I think the matchup is way better.
Yeah. You got that same price, pretty much going to be very hard decision. Big team, Moses Brown.
On FanDuel too.
FanDuel, it's 6.5. I think they're both 6.5K. So what about FanDuel? Because Time Lord stock upside. I mean, you're still Moses Brown there.
Yeah, I want action on Moses. If you guys like Time Lord,
I'll give you a Time Lord action for FanDuel.
I don't want. Yeah, I want Moses. I think I'm too scared to go against Robert. I'm too scared to go against.
We'll throw a nice 100 piece on a Big T Moses Time Lord on FanDuel. All right. Hey, last time you made a bet like that, it was man going over Rubio, and that was the most easy money I've ever made.
God.
So.
Oh man,
I'm kidding. We're not going down. We're not going down this route.
That was tough bet for me.
He brought up the bad mojo though. That's not what we do here.
No, did bring the bad mojo. Oh no.
Had to rub it in a little bit. No, but back to this game.
I had to put my horse down to the stable. Oh man.
I'm sorry, man. That's my fault.
But I put my horse down at the stable on Sunday the next day, so don't worry. We both had to do it this weekend.
You didn't even have to put your horse down. He put himself down.
Anyway, yeah, back to this game. Moses.
Yeah, title derailed us. What is he doing?
Oh man, we need JT here. We need JT here. Get the Tuesday. Get title out of here.
Yeah.
All right, only Moses Brown. Then you guys can go to the next game.
Oh yeah, Moses is going to be fun though. I can't wait to see what he does tonight. He's a guy that, if the projections still don't like him, guys, like it's wrong, right? I mean, there's certain guys sometimes where I just think the projection's wrong. I think it would be wrong there. Speaking of projections, I actually want to talk about this game. Let's talk Raptors and Pistons. And Tony, I'm going to go right to you. What's up with the Saban Lee love today? I've seen he's getting all this love today, and I think the Pistons kind of have too many guys where they can really kind of screw you. I know Saban Lee is cheap. He's going against the Raptors, and I don't think the Raptors are that great right now. Talk to me about your boy Saban Lee and what to do with him today.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't realize he was that popular until right now. He played.
Him and Harden.
It was versus Washington, though, and he got 25 fantasy points. It's a tougher matchup. I mean, it's a really tough matchup for him going into this spot where they got dudes that can guard him. I didn't even realize he was popular. This shows how little I look at slates early in the day. I'm like stunned that it says he's 50% projected. Like that blows my mind because
same. I was absolutely stunned when I saw
he's not even like in consideration for me. Like there's no way I play Saban Lee. So this is kind of an advantage to being a tournament player where I don't even have to consider a guy like that if I don't like him. I just cross him off. They got so many dudes. I mean, they're going to play. I mean, even Corey Joseph's going to eat minutes now. They got so many guys. Diallo's going to get minutes. It literally, if Saban Lee was 3K, I would consider him. But 3,800 is a decent difference. I don't see literally any reason to play any Detroit guys. It's an 11-game slate. This is what I want to get better at this year in tournaments. I don't want to play stupid teams like Detroit on an 11-game slate unless there's clear guys out where they're going to play 5 or 6 guys all the minutes. No reason to do it whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. We did get news. So Curry is probable now. So that's actually pretty big news. Eric Pascal's out. Kobe White is questionable, and Larry Nance being questionable is probably pretty big. We'll get to those. They're later games, so just wanted to mention them. Title, what are we doing? Are we crossing off this Raptors and Pistons game?
Well, the thing about Saban Lee and why he's going to be popular, at least as of now, is it's an 11-game slate, but there really isn't too much value. I know we did get the Bradley Beal news, so that could change stuff with Robinson and Neto and stuff, but it's not. If we get more value on this slate, Saban Lee is going to fall and not be as popular as he is. But as of now, I like him as chalk. If news breaks and better value opens up, that's one of the reasons that backloading today, and if you don't want to lock all your stuff into the first couple of games, is because news can break and better value can open up. But as of now, Saban Lee, I really like him on DraftKings at 3.8K, 3.7K on FanDuel. I like him as well, but he does take up one of your 2 point guard spots, which is a little harder to stomach. Fred VanVleet is only 7.4K on DraftKings. I think that's too cheap for him at a shooting guard position. Jeremy Grant, 6.9K on FanDuel. I like that price. Mainly just FanDuel plays for me because their price point, 6.5K for Lowry. I don't love this game environment. I don't love the spot for all them, but all these guys seem a little too cheap for their price tag. So I'm fine mixing in one of the Raptors on FanDuel. DraftKings, I won't have much besides Saban Lee.
These Toronto guys, I know I've said it all year, and they've treated me well, but especially if Lowry's out, don't dare ignore Pascal and VanVleet, especially because they're going to play 40 minutes. And like I say, they're under 8K on DraftKings. Are they under 8K on FanDuel? No, if Pascal's way higher on FanDuel.
But the other two are cheap.
Oh, VanVleet is 74 on FanDuel. Yeah, I mean, if Lowry's out, don't dare ignore these Toronto guys.
Yeah, and don't ignore OG Anunoby. They're actually using him more offensively, and they're actually like scheming him offensive plays. So, and it showed last game. So I wouldn't sleep on him as well. But I like VanVleet the most of all the guys. I think you brought up great points there. Let's go talk Memphis Grizzlies and the Houston Rockets. Title, I'll go to you first here. Christian Wood, he is going to be questionable for this game. We need that news. I'm staying away from all the Grizzlies, and I guess I'm just kind of waiting on news for the Rockets. How about you?
Yeah, so the Christian Wood news is, it matters a little bit, but I don't love playing this Houston side on an 11-game slate. The only guy I'm really interested on either side is Ja Morant. He's 7,100 on FanDuel. That's too cheap in this matchup. I don't expect anyone on Houston to really guard him. He should get what he wants. 7,100 I'm good with. 7,500 on DraftKings. I think he goes overlooked in tournaments because people don't go in that price range. So I'm fine hopping back on that. But other than him, I don't have much interest in this game.
Yeah, I don't really have much interest either. And like the one thing I think, Tony, that I don't know if it gets talked about enough. It's like with the Rockets, it feels like that you always have to worry about that blowout, right? And just like losing all of John Wall's run. And I just don't think I want to mess with this game too much. How about you?
I just like that Mangone's more of a turning guy this year than a cash guy because, I just gave the same speech for Detroit or whoever I just talked about in the last spot. It's an 11-game slate. I am not playing Houston unless there's just clear-cut value that I have to play, and I'm just not doing it. If I lose because Houston guys crash, so be it. I'll take my medicine, move on to the next slate, and just be done with it. And the problem with Memphis is the same thing. You just don't know what you're going to get with Houston. Like, they're just such a bad team that, I mean, Memphis could win this game by 40 tonight or something, and you just lose so much run on an 11-game slate. Easy fade for me here all the way around.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm trying my best to. Wall's price is up too much. And I think there's other guards. One in this next game that I want to talk about and kind of get your guys' take on that I would prefer to go to instead. If you guys could please hit the like, hit the subscribe on the video. I haven't checked in a while, so let's see. We're at 364. We have 844 people watching. So we want to give away some gear. We want to give out the plays, and we got to get that up. So let's get that up. Let's get the good mojo flowing after title derails just a little bit. No worries. You guys can help turn that mojo around by hitting that like and hitting that subscribe on the video. Also want to mention, head on over to Instagram. Whenever you get those screenshots, post them over there on the Instagram. We love to see that. I post mine whenever I have them. Go follow the account and tag at Run Pure Sports. Also want to mention MLB is right around the corner, April 1st. We got a couple days till then. Use that code HEATER25 to get 25% off. Now let's go on and let's talk about the Sacramento Kings and the San Antonio Spurs. We have a 229.5 total here. And I love De'Aaron Fox in this spot. I know the Kings, it feels like they may have gotten a little bit more additions to their team that could help, like a DeLon Wright that could cut into the mix, but the minutes are still safe on these guys because Luke Walton is coaching for his job. It is clear. And De'Aaron Fox against the Spurs absolutely struggle at the rim, and De'Aaron Fox gets at the rim and likes to finish. I love De'Aaron Fox in this spot at 9.5K. I kind of talked about it on the podcast with Draft Chief Big T. He feels like Donovan Mitchell, right? Where I can just sign up for my like 45 to 60 fantasy points almost every single night. I know he's 9.5K and it feels a bit pricier, but I just want to go after and get these guys that are so safe and secure and have a ceiling. And De'Aaron Fox is that guy for me. Do you think he's a bad play here against the Spurs?
I mean, safe and secure and 9.5K De'Aaron Fox does not go hand in hand for me. I'm gonna have to resort back to not being on your side with this one. It's not fun when I just agree with you all show.
That's fair.
9,500 for De'Aaron Fox is considered safe. What am I missing?
Tony, he is all year long. Everyone has said, "Oh, the price is going to keep. Oh, it's not going to go up more. It's not. It keeps going up, Tony, because he keeps printing every single day. I mean, he keeps absolutely printing. Now, of course, do I like a Westbrook probably over him? Sure, right? And it feels uncomfortable to pay 9.5K for him. Yes, it does. I get it. But he has a massive ceiling to get 60 fantasy points. It's there. And the Spurs is the matchup to do it.
The problem is, though, at 9.5, 60 is not a massive ceiling.
I disagree. I mean, 60 at 9.5, I think is fine.
I know I'm getting 60 from Harden and Westbrook, though. So what's the difference?
I don't know, Title. We'll bring you into this one. What do you think? Because I know the price is expensive, right? But I think it's just a really still nice ceiling there. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's a bad take on it. But I think that Fox is a great play here in this spot against the Spurs.
Yeah, I do got to disagree a little bit. 9.8, I wouldn't call him safe. I mean, we just got to see more than just like a month of basketball. 9.8K is a lot on this slate with Harden, with them. It's a good tournament play, I think, but
he's got like 2 games in the 60s, like in the last like 30. That's it.
He's been great, man. I mean,
he has been good. I'm not saying he has. I love Fox. He's a Kentucky boy.
He's been great. I mean, it's tough.
It's expensive.
It's really good.
So when you say safe, like you're considering
that was the topper
games?
To the whole comment was the safe part.
I just feel like I'm getting like 45 to 60 is like my range of outcomes. And for 9.5K, I don't hate it. I really don't. Maybe I'm wrong for thinking that, but you play some of these studs sometimes, and like you played it this week. You played Beal and Giannis. There's a lot of downside on some of these guys, and he has that safety that I don't think you guys are like calculating.
He just got 29 like Beal did like 4 games ago.
Which game was that? I want to see that.
Versus Philly, he played 33 minutes, 29 fantasy points.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe I just missed that one, but he's been good to me. So I guess
he's good. Like, I'm not trying to come across like I don't like him, but I mean, he's got a star tag now. Like he's priced with the studs, so you need that safety. Like with Westbrook is never not getting me. I mean, unless something just crazy happens, he's never not getting me there.
It's fine. I mean, I'll say this. The last time you made fun of De'Aaron Fox to me, JT remembers, we were sitting there and you said no. You said no, and he got 60, right? So we'll have to see.
Stick to your guns. I like that.
I'm curious. The thing that matters to me a lot with these 9K guys that I'm looking at today, and like I like Fox, it's just I want to figure out the right construction to like, and I've noticed we talk about tournaments and trying to like fill holes. One of my holes I think has been not jamming in those 3 guys like you've talked about doing. And I think that some of these 9K guys can be the route to get 3 of them in there with like maybe a Moses Brown, like getting like maybe 3 of like
that's
the
always
8K
the build,
and 9K.
That's always what I play. The 3 with the 1 middle guy, and then you have a bunch of cheapies.
Yeah, that's why Fox is fitting that for me, right? Like instead of going like the Harden and the Luka, I like maybe trying to get like a Fox, a Moses, I don't know, some other guy like in the 8K maybe, like a Kawhi who I like a ton. Yeah. Again, I don't know how much it all fits in, but he's one of the guys that's in that consideration for me because I'm trying to get that build specifically in tournaments today.
I like it.
Title, talk about the game a little bit, right? Because I know Tony's going to say fade Spurs. I agree. I don't want to play Spurs, but it's the Kings matchup, right? Yeah. Like the Kings are the matchup I want to jump to. So, Title, what do you think of this matchup here for some of the Spurs?
Yeah, I mean, on DraftKings, though, the pricing is fine on the Spurs, meaning they price them pretty well. I don't want to play DeJounte at 7.1. We've been making more money fading it than playing it. Don't want to play Patty at 4.3, DeRozan 7.9. So DraftKings, it's pretty much a full fade for me. Prices are a little better on FanDuel, Patty at 3.8, but I'm not doing that today at point guard position. The only interest I really have is Tyrese Halliburton at 5.5K on FanDuel. And that's just simply, I'm buying in on this guy's talent. I like his stock upside on FanDuel too. He's a good defender, gets some steals. And I think he gets overlooked with Harden, Van Vliet, and other stuff at shooting guard. So Tyrese Halliburton, 5.5K on FanDuel, sign me up.
Yep. Tony, you sound like you might have some interest in some Spurs. I don't think so. Did you out of nowhere say that? Because again, I love to attack the Kings, but I feel absolutely stupid playing Spurs because I haven't really been playing them lately.
We've been railing against the Spurs all year. And though on the shows, we've been saying to attack Sacramento all year. So we're going against our two methods tonight. I think you can play DeJounte. The same problem, though, is always what I'm trying to keep myself from doing this, where if I don't think he has a ceiling, I can't play him. I might flip tonight, though, and I think he might have that ceiling to get us in the 50s for 7,100. Man, Sacramento is a tasty matchup. The problem is the same issue, though. You still got Patty Mills and Derek White and DeRozan and whoever else they got that soaks in the minutes. It's the Spurs. You could easily get 27 minutes from DeJounte Murray or something. Happens all the time. He's definitely in play, though. That's my issue with Sacramento, too. I think the price is high on Fox because they just have more pieces now than I think people realize. Like, even Terrence Davis played 18 minutes the other day. I don't know. I think the price is baked in because they were playing 5 dudes all the minutes. I think some of these guys like DeLon Wright might eat up a little bit more time than people think too. I don't know. I want to see how Sacramento plays out with these new pieces. Just DeJounte for me in this game.
Yeah, that's the one thing I'm a little worried about with Fox, like, because he only played 23 minutes, right? And like, could that go up and cut into him? I don't know what Luke Walton's plan is, but he seems like it's super safe with what he's doing. And they said they used him a lot more defensively instead of more being the ball handler. So curious to see how that all shakes out. Title, a FanDuel idea. Harrison Barnes is at power forward, and I hate power forward. He's 5.8K. Plays a lot of minutes, and power forward sucks. You know, no Maxi Kleber, no Porzingis. We're not doing that. I'd rather play Harrison Barnes at 5'8", and even Buddy Hield at 5'8" is kind of interesting at small forward.
Yeah, I probably won't land that. I like power forward a little more than you. I think Tatum up top. There's Sabonis at 8'8". Jaden McDaniels is a full punt. I'd even personally rather go Kleber and take the savings than Barnes. So yeah, it's not for me, but he's going to be very low owned in tournaments. I just don't. He's another guy. I don't love his upside. I feel like I play him once a month or something, and he's always get 25, 30, just something like that. So it's not for me. I won't have much in this game.
Yeah, the punting idea is probably better at power forward today, but it's definitely an idea over the next week. Like, power forward sucks. Like, it's if he's moved there, that's definitely gonna excite me a little bit.
Especially when you auto fade Porzingis and Kleber every time they're on the slate, then it really narrows it down.
Ooh, I mean, I wish I auto fade them every time. It just hasn't worked out like that. I think it happened the other day. We were all scrambling for news, and I just fell on Porzingis, but I think he had a good game that time, so it worked out. Worked out for me. Let's go on to the next game. We got, let's see. Oh, the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Utah Jazz. And cue up K Phallic and his charts to talk about his boy, Mr. Dean Wade. Tony, talk to me about these Cavaliers, because these guys are going to be in play, right? I talked about wanting to go some more stars and scrubs, and Larry Nance went to questionable, and that's a downgrade during the day, right? So you assume your boy Hartenstein, you like him a little bit just as a player. You've talked up him at times. Mr. Dean Wade could be interesting. I mean, they don't have anyone in the front court, and it's against one of the tougher front court matchups, but they're young guys that could just be absolutely blowout proof.
Yeah, I mean, it is tough. It's a tough spot. It is a good spot for minutes just because they don't have anyone. I mean, I'm just looking at the roster. I mean, Broderick Thomas just played 32 minutes the other day. Dean Wade. I mean, I can't. One thing I know for sure is I can't pay $4,800 for Dean Wade. I do know that much. Like, that is, that's a tough price point. But you can always play these cheap guys. I mean, Hartenstein, I don't love the matchup, but they need his size. 3,200. He physically, if Nance is out, he has to play 30 minutes, you would think, or high 20s at 3,200. It is a tough spot. Definitely not a lock, but I mean, Broderick Thomas is 3,300. These guys are definitely in play for me. I don't know if I'll get there just because the matchup's terrible, but I mean, you can definitely get there. And the good thing is Hartenstein and Broderick should be blowout proof, like you said. Even if it's a 30, 40-point game, they should be in there playing. So they might be sneaky good plays. And we've said this about friggin' Donovan Mitchell the last month, but in these blowout games, don't just completely write him off. I mean, he's 9,200 now, so his price is definitely up. But the good thing is, literally no one's going to play him. And if you somehow bank the script where he gets that 35-minute run and he gets 60s or something, he can definitely win you. Just keep him in your mind when you're building teams, because he's going to be completely unowned. And I think he has safe floors in this spot too, where like I think his floor is way safer than Fox's, as crazy as that sounds. Like I trust his floor way more.
Totally fine.
There's no way you agree with that, but like I feel safer with Mitchell than Fox.
I mean, do you want to bet Mitchell versus Fox?
I mean,
straight up?
The problem is
come on in. The order's fine, Tony. Come on in. You can talk trash.
I definitely don't want to bet that, but I do trust his floor more.
All right, the backpedal ensues. We see Tony backpedaling in the bush a little bit. No worries. Guys, hit that like, hit that subscribe on the video. It helps us out a ton. We want to give away the plays, right? And we want to give away some swag. And you guys are falling a little short here, so let's get those likes up, please. Let's get them up to 500 here. Title, I'm gonna head on over to you. Do you want Mitchell versus Fox? I'm here, ready to go. What are you doing with the Jazz, and what are you doing with the Cavs value?
Yeah, I'll pass on that bet, but Cleveland value is pretty much the only spot I'm looking at. Hartenstein and Thomas, 3.2K, 3.3K. Again, we don't have a ton of value right now. I know we haven't circled back to Washington completely, but it's a little better, but it wasn't better before the Beal news. I like this price tag. And what it allows you to do playing these two as well is it makes sure you backload a little bit. This game's at 9 Eastern, so you're not going to lock yourself into the 7 or 7:30 game. And then you never know what news hits later that opens up even more value. So I like these two as value. And then on FanDuel, Dean Wade is only 3.8K. And it's a power forward position. Like you said, you hate power forward. If you want a full punt to get up to other places, and if Nance does get ruled out, I mean, an midday downgrade is never a good sign. So they're going to need to play minutes. I think they're blowout proof, and the Cleveland value, I'm fine with on both sides. Hartenstein, Thomas on DraftKings, Dean Wade on FanDuel.
Yep, definitely new value plays you're mixing throughout your lineups. Nash says he expects Aldridge to take 2 to 3 or 4 games to ramp up. So that's news to kind of, have for the shows going forward. Just so you
Why are people acting like, I need to ask about this. Why are people acting like the Nets have some super team because Blake and Aldridge? Yeah, they have a super team because their big three is incredible. Not because these scrubs like freaking LaMarcus Aldridge and Blake Griffin are there.
If anything, for me, I think it hurts them because it prevents Claxton from actually playing 30 plus minutes. He's clearly
not going to play at all once the stretch run comes. They're just going to bench him.
And I'd rather him on the court, defensive side, pick and roll anytime. So to be honest, I think it actually hurts the team more than it helps. I mean, we've seen Aldridge play. Like Aldridge 8 years ago on Portland. Yeah, this would be the most stacked team of all time, but it's not the same players. So I'm with you.
Did you see what Blake Griffin said? Yeah. They were talking trash about him, and he said, everyone just says I've sucked for the last 2 years, so why do you care now? Which I thought was actually pretty good. I like when people come back with that kind of stuff, and that's why everyone complains, oh, the super teams, I hate this stuff. Well, then you shouldn't have cared about LeBron and the titles and got on him, because now people, they want to make sure they win, so you give them the respect. And because you do that, now we have these super teams made. So maybe you should stop doing that. Just let the guys play and celebrate that they stay at a place and don't chase a title like titles boy Giannis. But we'll see if he ends up leaving at some point.
I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's sports. People want to win championships. If there's a super team, beat the super team. It should be that simple. I mean, you can't complain about super teams, Yankees, Dodgers.
Said that either. Like, I agree. Like, go play with who you want to go play with. If you take less money to do it, take less money. I mean, it's all within the rules. Do what you need to do.
I agree 100%. We talked about titles boy Giannis.
We need to talk about these likes, man. Going at the beginning, I said we'd get to like 800-900 watching. 500 was the number last week. We can get there easy. We're at 443. We want to give out the gear at the end of this show in like 10 minutes. Easy to get to 500. Click that like button.
I just said it, not too long ago. So let's get it home. And Justin Loreno sitting in the chat, Mitchell over Fox, slide in the DMs. I'm right here. I mean, just send them over. We can do a wager. It's at Travis Mangone. Happy to do some wagers with some people. So
you'll hear about the result next Monday on how well De'Aaron Fox did.
2 weeks from now, he's gonna talk about it.
You're all gonna hear it tomorrow because it's us three tomorrow on the show, I think, or it might be JT. I don't know. I saw the schedule. It's me. I'm here for the next 3 days, so I'll be here talking about it over one of these next 2 days with you guys. Don't you worry about it. Title, I want to talk about Giannis and your Bucks, right? Because I think Giannis is an interesting spend today, but it's not the easiest matchup in the world defensively. I really like Kawhi more, though, right? I kind of want to go down to Kawhi instead. I think he's a great option, someone that I might prioritize in my lineups a little bit. Title, break it down for me. Bucks, Clippers, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm not playing any Bucks today on this slate. If there was one, it would be Giannis, but I like Harden a lot more. I like Westy a lot more. It's another tough matchup against the Clippers. I mean, if they want to play defense and make sure Giannis doesn't get to the rim at ease, they're going to do it, and then he's going to struggle. So it's kind of a matchup like the Celtics where I'm a little scared of. He's going to be lower owned in tournaments. So if you're one of those people that just always will play a low owned stud because you know they have upside, I don't hate the strategy. Not what I'm doing today. As far as the Clippers, I do like them on DraftKings, especially. Paul George is only 8.5K. Reggie Jackson's 4.4K. Marcus Morris is 4.5K. Kawhi, 8.9K. I would limit myself to only 2 of those guys. I like Reggie Jackson and Marcus Morris a lot, though, in the 4.5K range. They're just guys that have a lot of upside, can get you 35 for a cheap price tag. So sign me up for those guys. Paul George, Kawhi, I'd only choose one of them. I like the stars and scrubs route a little more, getting Harden and Westy, but they're solid plays. Only guy on FanDuel that I didn't mention is Nicholas Batum. He's 4.1K as small forward, which I don't love as well. If you need it as a punt, I'm fine there, but not someone I'm plugging in my lineup right away, more as a last piece.
All right, Big T. So we love to make fun of Giannis, right? But Giannis has made me a good amount of money this year, and it seems like a spot where he can make me a good amount of money today. Are we firing on Giannis, and do you like the Kawhi idea ran back?
No, I don't like either one of those ideas. So
why don't you like Kawhi? I like Kawhi.
Have I ever played Kawhi in my life? No, I'm not playing a dude that's 8,900 and has a 45 ceiling. I'm definitely not playing that. Hey, I've never played Kawhi in my life. Like, if I play Kawhi, it's going to be in the NBA Finals when I know he's going to actually try. I will never, ever, ever think Kawhi's a good play unless he's like 7,200.
That's interesting. I thought you'd like him a little more today for some reason.
He has no ceiling. Like, if you want to talk about a guy that has no ceiling, it is Kawhi.
Yeah, it's the one matchup where it can get done. I don't know, Title.
Why? Why can't it get done?
He shows up for games against better teams in a close spread game. I mean, we saw it against Luka like 2 weeks ago when I was on at this point. Well, no, he had 14 in the first half and had like a 45, 42 point second half. So he can put together.
He hit 42. He had a ceiling game.
Yeah, I see. That's he's never. I'll just say he'll never be 7,200, at least not for 18 years. So he might be on your never playlist, I guess.
He has no games in the 60s. I just looked.
I said, I think he finished like 55 or something that game. But his price tag resembles it. He's 1,000 cheaper than Fox, which
he's never. He's a good cash play. Like, I get it why people would play him in cash. Yeah,
he's definitely better in cash. I will admit.
Put him in there and take your 42 you get from him. Like, if you want 42, Kawhi's your guy.
I'll
take the over.
If I told you Kawhi or Giannis today, would you take the savings with Kawhi, Tony?
I mean, no, I would.
Probably not because you want the ceiling, right? Yeah, you just want the ceiling.
I'm not ever playing Kawhi over anyone, like, ever.
All right, fair enough.
I'd play Paul George over Kawhi. Like, at least I've seen a ceiling at times from him.
All right. Anything else in this game, Tony? Because there's no Bobby Portis. Does that change anything for you? Probably not, though, right?
Man, Milwaukee is my nemesis. Every time so let me look at these. The only time they're not my nemesis is when they play all the other dudes because, man, they crushed the other night. But I don't know. I mean, no.
All right. Title, any final thoughts here on this game? We're going to move on to the last game of the night.
Last game.
All right. Another reason to kind of like maybe playing that Bucks game for me is I got to pivot, right? You get the late news. You can go to a game that's pretty interesting with the Bulls and the Golden State Warriors. And Steph Curry being in, obviously he's a stud that you can pivot to if you want to against the Bulls who don't play the greatest defense. My problem with this game in general is, sure, I like to target the Bulls, but Vucevic is there now, and they're playing a little bit slower. He's 9.3K. Tony, is this a game that you're just fading?
No, I mean, it is an interesting one because, yeah, Curry is going to be crazy low owned against the Bulls, and he at least has upside too. Like, I would rather play him unowned than a guy like Fox too in that same price range, and Kawhi. I mean, at least give me Curry because I know he can at least hit that ceiling if he has a chance to. And then I don't know, I have a little bit of interest in Vooch. I mean, in his first game there, he played 32 minutes, only 38 fantasy points, but literally no one, these are the guys I like because no one is going to play him. They just traded for him. Golden State has no one that can guard him. I have a decent amount of interest in Vooch, and Levine is cheap too. So I do have a little bit of interest in these Bulls.
All right. What about you, Title? Any interest in the Bulls? Any interest in Steph Curry and the Warriors?
No, it's not a game I'll have really any of. One guy, if I had to say someone on FanDuel, James Wiseman's 4K. I know he's looked really, really bad, but I mean, Steve Kerr wants to play him. They want to develop him. He's starting now, 4,000. Do you think blowout proof too? Because they want to get him extra run. You can do worse than him, but Robert Williams, Moses Brown, there's other good center plays. So it'd just be a deep turn. It'd be a tournament play as a pivot.
All right. We're at 489 likes. You just need 11 more, and we'll find some gear in the chat. So, Tony, start looking. I have faith in these guys to get it home for us. And then we could give out the plays, I think. Is that good, Tony?
Yeah. I mean, these guys are going to get it done. We're at 489 now. They'll have 11 likes by the time. I found a winner, too. I need to – where did he go? I found someone I wanted to give the gear to because he had a good comment.
All right, well, we'll give it a look. Try and find it now while I talk about some stuff. I do want to talk about the MLB product that we have coming. We have tons of great content coming your way for MLB. Use the code HEATER25 to get 25% off your first payment to sign up at Run Pure Sports. Again, if you pay $80 a month, $20 a week, you're getting everything, all the sports, right? We're not just charging you for MLB, for NASCAR, for MMA. You're getting all the sports for one price. So be sure to check it out over at Run Pure Sports. Now, before we get to the gear, before we get to Tony's workbench play of the day, I'm going to go to TitleTown first. The people, they want it. They love it. Give us the SO play of the day.
Yeah, so there's a lot of options on this slate. It was hard to just pick one, but I got to go with my boy since the beginning, Rui Hachimura. He's 5.9K on DraftKings. You have to lock yourself into the first game with him too. He'll be more popular on FanDuel for sure, where you have to play two small forwards, but 5.9K, I think he goes overlooked. Love this matchup, very high total. Second option on the team, 40-plus minute upside. I think it's a very good smash spot for him. So Rui Hachimura, SO play of the day.
All right, Rui Hachimura, the SO play of the day. Before we get to Big T's workbench play of the day, I will give my dry hump play of the day. And listen,
Aaron Fox.
No, we're gonna go with Donovan.
Go
no, it's not Donovan Mitchell. We gotta go with the Aaron Fox. And Tony, what is an acceptable number? Like, it sounds like 80 fantasy points won't be enough. 70.
If
like
the
what?
dude is 95 and 9,800. You damn well need in the 60s to come back and gloat.
All right, so give me 60 fantasy points.
Yeah, if he gets over 60, then it's a victory for you.
60 at 2%. That's fair.
Absolutely.
All
but
right.
if he gets like 52, don't come in here tomorrow like all happy.
No, I won't. I won't come in here all happy, right? I also won't come in here to take some crap, right? For 52. Like, I'm not taking crap.
No, 52 is the missionary. No. Yeah, if you're 52, then he's the missionary. If he gets
I'm just making sure. I'm just getting the qualifications down.
No, that's always the fault. If he gets like 41, you get made fun of. If he gets 52, missionary, 60, you get a gloat about the shower session.
Totally acceptable. I think that's the way to go with it. Since we're talking about shower sessions, we should talk about the workbench play of the day, Tony. So you've teased some before. You teased a guy in the Washington game. I was curious if that would be the choice, but 11 game slate. We got a lot of options. Give us Big T's workbench play of the day.
First of all, I'm going to tell this dude about this gear because I found the one and I don't want to lose it again. But Joseph Hamilton, you won the gear today because he said RPS gear helps pick up the honeys at the local sports bar with some fire signs. I agree with that. And if you wear it to the sports bar, I guarantee that you'll have some success because ladies do love the RPS gear. Guaranteed. If you wear the hat too, which you got to win another contest to get the hat as well. But it's unstoppable. It's an unstoppable force. And I encourage you to try it out at the local sports bar for sure. But workbench play of the day, man, it was down to two for me. Either I was going to go low or I was going to go high and play Vooch. I don't think I'm going to do Vooch though for it. I'm going to go down low. I just can't resist my boy Gafford. 3,200. Last game he played 13 minutes and had 26 fantasy points. If he somehow catches any sort of run up towards 20 against this Indiana team, I'm pretty sure in my head too that when he played for the Bulls, I played him in this same matchup versus Indiana like 2 years ago or a year ago, and he just lit them off. And I could be totally wrong. That's literally just off the top of my head. But I love this spot. 3,200, 1% owned. No one's going to play him. It goes into BigT 777 too. Right out of the gate, he gets to crush. He checks all the workbench boxes for me. There is a lot of worry about him he has a low floor, but that's what the workbench is all about. Tournament play, take your chances. I love Mr. Gafford.
All right, before we get out of here, can I get action on Fox versus Vucevic, Tony?
Versus Vooch? Vooch is like 8K, isn't he?
No, he's 9.3. It's like the same tag on DK.
Who was Levine was like 8K. I don't think I can give you that one either.
All right, fair enough. That's all. I figured there was a good chance I could get it.
I do like Vooch more. The funny thing is I like both plays more in tournaments, but Fox is, yeah.
I just been backing Tony into a corner all show, so
what is Fox going to be owned?
I don't know. No one's going to
He's going to be really low.
No one's going to
Fox.
All the guys we like. I mean, who's going to be owned? None of these studs are going to be owned?
No.
Harden,
Westbrook.
Maybe I'll just play
Luka.
Fox and Vooch.
Tatum,
and all these
Westbrook,
dudes together.
Yeah. I mean, we'll have to see how it all plays out. But
gonna have to check Big T scores to see who he's playing.
Yep, check Big T score to see what's going on there. And the workbench play of the day, Mr. Daniel Gafford. But that'll wrap it up for us, guys. We got JSU and Holden coming up next on the final countdown show. Again, use that code HEATER25 to get in on that show and listen.
You guys see Larson's car in this race before we leave? He's literally driving half a car. Like he has half of his car and it's driving around the track.
No, I haven't seen it.
It's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
I'm gonna have to pull that up after this.
I wish my guys were doing that.
Up.
That's some dedication to the craft, right? So I wish my guys too were in there in half a car at least. Christopher Bell is not in half a car. He is on the sidelines eating like McDonald's or something like that right now. But we got to go. Thanks a lot for joining us, guys. For me, Mangone, TitleTown, and Big T. See you guys later.
Good luck, everybody.